Hello, welcome to Talk Cricket. This is your host Ali Mangi. For today, our usual host Azim Siddiqui is not feeling that great, which is why I've taken over for now, and our sports analyst Azim Siddiqui now. Azim, after such a close final, do you think Bangladesh are the deserving finalists ahead of Pakistan?
Absolutely, it was. It was a very close encounter. Bangladesh played really well. Litton Das made a brilliant century, but unfortunately he ended up on the losing side. It showed that they were the second best team in this tournament, and Pakistan were just not too good to be honest in this tournament. They were just not at par with Bangladesh or Afghanistan or India for that matter. And I think Bangladesh showed that they were right up there, competing with the best in the final, just like they did. They took the final to the last ball. It was just unfortunate that they could not score enough runs on the board. And had they done enough with the bat, I think India would be in trouble, because at one stage it looked like they were 120 for no loss, but they ended up scoring just 223. They bowled out in 1 over before their full quota of 50 overs. So yes, the batting let them down. The bowling did exceptionally well. They defended nearly 223 in Dubai against such a strong batting lineup. So I personally think that Bangladesh really did justice with what they've done in this tournament.
It was very an intense final. I mean, who would have thought Bangladesh would reach the finals and, not Pakistan, because Pakistan were sort of the clear favorites for this tournament because of the pitch and the conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very interesting that, a lot of people said that, they were expecting an India-Pakistan final. And it was sort of disappointing for them to see that, it was not an India-Pakistan final, and many people were saying that, it is going to be a one-sided final. But the way Bangladesh came out and batted in the first 20 overs, it was just very heartening to see. It was just very, very important to see that, a team like Bangladesh, who are on the rise since 2015 World Cup, they are now actually showing that, they belong to that level. And it shows that, Pakistan are probably not the second best team in Asia anymore. I think it is going to be very interesting to see how they will move forward.
That's really sad to hear. But Azim, which team was the most impressive in this Asia Cup tournament? I mean, was it Afghanistan or was it Bangladesh? What do you think?
To be honest, I think every team other than Pakistan was impressive in this tournament. It was just very, very disappointing from Pakistan's part, because the only match we won comprehensively, in fact, was against Hong Kong. And in the other game, Hong Kong nearly pulled off a great chase against India.
Yeah.
So they were really impressive. Then there was Bangladesh, who were the finalists, the runners-up for the second time running. Then there was Afghanistan, who nearly defeated us, who nearly defeated Bangladesh, and then who had a draw with, who had a tie with India. So I think every other team from Pakistan was impressive. But if I'll have to pick one, I will pick Bangladesh, because of the way they fought after losing so many of the key players. Like Shakib Al Hasan was not there in the final, in the second last match. Tamim Iqbal was not there in the final. In fact, in the whole tournament, because he fractured his thumb and he had to go back home. Then there was Sabir Rahman, who are facing charges, again. Some very difficult time for him as well.
This was a tournament of underdogs, I think. Nobody expected such teams like Hong Kong's debut, and
Yeah, absolutely. It was very interesting to see how Hong Kong played their cricket. They were a very top-heavy team in the batting department. Their bowling looked okay, but their batting was very top-heavy. It was just openers, the captain Anushman Rath and his partner, who was a Pakistan-born as well. But again, they showed the world that they can compete. And I feel like this Asia Cup actually showed that Asia Cup can be a really successful tournament.
Yes,
true. Every single time we see this, that a tournament has been organized in Bangladesh. It's been organizing in Bangladesh for a number of years now. So people have lost interest, because it's the same kind of environment, it's the same kind of pitches that are there. But for once, we had an Asia Cup which was organized in the UAE, where teams had equal support, where teams were had equal backing.
I mean, that's our home ground. We should have played really good, because Pakistan were very disappointing.
And that's the best part, that the team who were actually the host, ideal host. But they just couldn't do well in this tournament, and that's down to the fact that the pitches were such. I think we should give credit to the curators as well, because the pitches were slow. It was very competitive. The competition between bat and ball was right up there, and it was very heartening to see that one-day cricket at its best.
Talking about Pakistan, they were very disappointing. We all know that.
Yeah.
Where do you think they went wrong in this tournament? I mean, was it the fielding? I mean, what do you think?
I just wrote an article about where did Pakistan actually go wrong, and in that article I mentioned that Pakistan went wrong with the planning. To be honest, they were just too rigid about what kind of team combination they will have. They went in with 6 pacers, did not make any sense.
Yeah.
Then they had 2 spinners only, one full-time spinner in Shadab Khan, the
Yeah.
other was Mohammad Nawaz. Again, he's not a full-time spinner as well. So the team combination was not there. I think Mickey Arthur was way too complacent about the squad. I think
Yeah.
Inzamam ul Haq was complacent as well. I think, you know, the fact that they did not use Haris Sohail in this whole tournament, it shows that, you know, that they were too rigid about their planning. They did not want to make changes. I think that comes from the fact that Sarfaraz played under the captaincy of Misbahul Haq and Shahid Afridi and Azhar Ali. And in that time, Pakistan used to had so many changes.
Yeah.
So now he actually went completely opposite to that, and it backfired, because there has to be a middle ground. It cannot be like, you know, that players will play no matter what the conditions is, no matter what the circumstances is. A best example would be England, for that
Yes.
matter, where they played Ben Stokes ahead of Joe Root. I mean, Joe Root is a world-class batsman, but they actually played him because they realized that Ben Stokes would offer more to the team in that particular match ahead of someone like Joe Root.
Yeah.
But in Pakistan team, you would not see that. They kept backing Fakhar Zaman, who ended up scoring 56 runs in the tournament. They kept backing Asif Ali, who scored 77 in the tournament. They had no plans about
The
where
team
Sarfaraz should
selection
bat.
was really wrong and out of, you know.
I think
right-
the planning was the issue. I think the planning it was something where the team management needs to discuss and needs to know that, you know, they cannot be so rigid about it. Yes, there are certain players who are the backbone of the team, who are the mainstay, but then you have other players who you can replace, and there's a reason why there's a 16-member squad and not an 11-member squad, and that is because of the fact that, you know, you can make changes if there is a problem, if there is an underperformance. But it seems that the team management was too reluctant. They kept relying on Mohammad Amir for that matter. He went wicketless in the tournament. He played 3 matches, 2 were against India. They kept relying on him. They did not pick Junaid Khan until the final match of the tournament. It was very, very absurd. It was very, very disappointing, to say the least.
That's true. So now we go on a break and we'll be back more with Azim Siddiqui's analyst about Asia Cup.